Alright, this week it's time to get into probably one of, if not the most massive adventure there is. Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is built off of, is a continuation of the Dragon Heist, which that one is a quick one and takes you from level 1 to 5. This one takes you from all the way from level 5 to level 20. That's why this is so massive and everything. So, now, pretty much the whole concept of this is that you start in the end of the yawning portal. So I did a video on a adventure of the Tales from the Yawning Portal, a bunch of one shots and everything. So you can probably go see that one and everything. So and it's that one. Those one shots are kind of stuff from third edition, Forge of the Fury and the Sunless Citadel. So they're kind of classics. In a sense, in one shots that you can, in a sense, tie them all together and level yourself up. So, main villain in this is a good old Hallister Blackcloak. He is the Mad Mage, and so this whole concept of this one is you're going into the Undermountain, which is in a sense underneath Waterdeep, and so the whole concept of the Undermountain is it's like a whole underground cavern, the whole underground a denizen, it's basically a world underneath a world that you're going down into in this. And so you're basically going through as the title suggests, you're going through the whole dungeon of the Mad Mage. And of course Hallister has several different goals that he wants you as the adventurers to achieve. And of course one of his apprentices, no, I'm probably going to butcher the name of that of her of her name and everything. So the whole idea is her Hallister's Black Cloak is an apprentice, is that she got in a sense trapped by him. Yeah, here we go. Here's the name. Jasira Kestelharp, Jhesiyyra, Kestelharp, with 2 L's. So again, I'm probably butchering her name, but she was an apprentice of Hallister, and when she realized oh god, this guy is insane, she tried to escape, and of course then he imprisoned her. So it's the whole dichotomy of a master versus apprentice type of deal. So Jasira gets you, the adventurers, to defeat Hallister, and of course Hallister wants you to kind of find where she is, because there's the event known as the Spell Plague that happened, and she was able to escape her magical prison after Hallister entrapped her in it, and so she escaped, and it's in a sense her physical form is no longer, and she's kind of a spirit, and she dwells in the actual dungeon itself and everything. So kind of think she is the dungeon type of deal, and she's trying to get you to to defeat Hallister, and of course Hallister is trying to find her in one of his many goals. And of course as you adventure through all the levels, and of course there's 23 levels in this dungeon. So because in the table of contents you can see all the different levels, and it goes to level 23. So this dungeon is massive and everything, because like I said, it takes you from levels 5 all the way to level 20, and it's the only one that I have come across that actually does take you all the way to level 20, because most take you the Curse of Straw takes you to level 10, and other adventures I've gone through take you to 11 to maybe 12 or something. So most only take you halfway or midway through the level advancements of the actual game. So this one, if you're looking, I keep saying, massive and everything, so if you're looking for something that's long term, definitely do the Dragon Heist one and then build into this one, because this could quite possibly turn into a several years long campaign that you could do just based on those 2 adventures and everything. And so some of the other goals that Hallister has, other than finding his apprentice who is trying you to kind of defeat him, and he's got a bunch of different creatures and stuff that have made its way into his dungeon, so he kind of wants to clean house. He wants like a maybe find another apprentice and do this and do that and everything. So like I said, it's that the old apprentice versus the master dynamic that you kind of find yourself into. And so like you do actually visit the town of Skullport, which is kind of like a, in Waterdeep, it's kind of like a rumor and kind of hush hush, like, oh, you don't want to go there, it's too dangerous, and like nothing good happens there, it's totally evil. So you do, in a sense, are able to get to Skullport, and you kind of use that as like a base of operation and like as a resupply. So Skullport is kind of like the counterpart to Waterdeep. So like Waterdeep is above ground and like on the Sword Coast and everything, whereas Skullport is actually in the Undermountain area, and like in a sense the Underdark, and it's like kind of like the above ground below ground dichotomy between the two. So like you get that mirror image type of deal between the two cities. So like you do visit Skullport as well, and like I said, you use that as like a basically like a resupply, and like where you can regroup and everything. So like not only does like this, like I showed earlier, it has Hallister and like his stats and everything. Like this also does, like pretty much every adventure does give you pictures of like the monsters and stats for monsters and everything that do appear in this and everything. So it helps give you that background information and everything. So there's like a bunch of different like quests that like are intertwined, and so like they do have like future quests that like for instance, like Eye of the Spider is one of the future quests that like and one of the prerequisites to being able to do that is you need to do the search for Chrysando Rosnar quest. So in a sense, like all the quests like are interconnected. So like you have to do this one before you go do this one, and like and then you have to do this one before you do that one, because there's like 23 levels in it. So like in a sense, what you could do is like a classic dungeon crawl. Levels go level by level 1, 2, 3 all the way up down to level 23, or like you could do like this quest, like you can do like maybe these 3 quests to get to this quest, do those quests to get to that quest. And so like I'll reiterate, this is basically like several months, if not several years worth of gaming that you can expand on for like a whole campaign. And like with Dragon Heist, like you, in a sense, like is the rare case that you can actually go from levels 1 all the way to level 20. So like now you could run other adventure, like kind of like a side quest and everything with your group to get them up to level 5 to do this. You don't necessarily need to do Dragon Heist, but the great thing is like these two work in tandem. So like in a sense, like you can do Dragon Heist, and you don't necessarily need to do this, or you can do like stuff before and then do this. So you don't need to do both back to back, but they do go hand in hand and work great together in the conjunction of like I'll keep saying, getting like levels 1 all the way to level 20. So, and being like if you're one of those DMs that maybe doesn't have necessarily all, you're working on like a world building yourself, but you don't have anything ready, and you kind of want to start hammering out your old world, do this over the course of several months, if not years, while you're doing like that world building, so that like way you can, in a sense, be a lazy DM. So in a sense, that's what the great thing about all these pre-made adventures are, is that like you can just basically take the book, open it up, and just go read through it, and then like as a DM, you have all the stuff you need to just be like, all right, here we go, let's have fun. And so you don't. It takes out a lot of the legwork, and of course, that's the drawback too. Is this, if you're the type of DM that does like to do all the legwork, then like these adventures are kind of like, well, I don't want to do them because like I like world building and everything. So to each his own. So like you have to find your style as a DM, and plus you have to find like a group that like whatever they like doing. Like if your players like doing like pre-made adventures like this one, great. If they like doing the world building that you do yourself and everything, more the merrier and everything. So like but like for someone like me who's like usually strapped for time, like if I'm going to run an adventure, I'm going to take something like this, and I'll be able to like read over it and just be able to jump in and be like, okay, here we go. Here's something quick and easy to do. So if you're definitely looking for something that's massive, like end this with like reiterating that if you're looking for something that's going to take several months, if you're playing like if you're like an all day type of person for over several months, or if you can only get together for several hours every week, takes several years, then this is definitely the good old Dungeon of the Mad Mage is definitely for you. Now, if you are preferred one shots, then like you might want to go with something like the Tales from the Yawning Portal or something. Again, to each his own. So like this one is definitely the massive one of all the adventures that I've come across. Now, are there more that have come out and that will come out and everything that could quite possibly rival this as well? Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see. So like next week I'll probably start on like a Pathfinder kick, because like Pathfinder Second Edition just recently came out. So I do have some other books that like would probably want to get into. So that way people have that counterpart to the D&D after getting through all these adventure books.